What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to revisit this topic because I'm just so many of these LeBron James fans are talking about the LeBron James's longevity and where they think that he might end up next year, whether it be Cleveland or it may just be LA, right? And so I ran across this video, and I'm gonna play the audio from the video, but I just want to remind people of like what true longevity means, right? And we talk about true longevity and somebody who is really durable. I mean, it's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan played 82 games 9 times out of his career. And the last time he did it, he was 40 years old and playing for the Wizards, right? Now, LeBron James has been LeBron James has been in the league for what, 23 years, going on 24 years. And he has only played 82 games one time. And that was in I'm trying to think. I think it was his second time when he was with Cleveland. And so I ran across this audio of this guy had a YouTube video, and he was talking about LeBron James and his longevity. And I just want to play this and comment on this about the longevity and the really like the longevity versus the durability, like Michael Jordan's durability versus LeBron James's longevity. And I want to play this video just as a reminder to LeBron James fans who think that LeBron, like all this load managing and flopping that LeBron James do, thinking that, like LeBron James is the real deal. So check out this, listen to this audio, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give some more of my input on LeBron James and Michael Jordan, that comparison.
They call LeBron James the king of longevity. They talk about year 20, year 21, and year 22, like it's the greatest feat in human history. But modern NBA media has completely brainwashed you into forgetting what real durability looks like. In over 2 decades of playing basketball, do you know how many times the king actually suited up for all 82 games? One time. One single season out of 20 plus. Meanwhile, Michael Jeffrey Jordan did it 9 times. Let that sink in. The math doesn't lie, but the fanboys do. LeBron's lone 82-game season came in 2018, his final year in Cleveland, mostly because he wanted to prove a point before packing his bags for Los Angeles. Every other year, rest days, strategic sitting, load management on a random Thursday night because his ankle felt a little stiff. And this is with private charter jets, million-dollar recovery pods, and an army of sports scientists keeping him in bubble wrap. Now look at Jordan. MJ played in an era where driving to the lane meant getting physically assaulted by defensive lines that looked like NFL linebackers. No charter flights. They were flying commercial. No advanced cryotherapy. If you were hurt, you iced it with a bag of frozen peas and got back on the floor. Let's break down the most insane stretch of durability the sports world has ever seen. During the second three-peat, from 1996 to 1998, Jordan wasn't some young kid with fresh legs. He was in his mid-30s. During those 3 brutal years, Jordan played all 82 regular season games, every single one. He didn't just show up. He won MVP awards, scoring titles, and defensive first-team honors. Add the postseason runs, and Jordan played 304 consecutive games at absolute full throttle without missing a single night. He didn't take a business trip day off against Charlotte or Sacramento to save his legs for June. If fans paid their hard-earned money to buy a ticket, Jordan was on the hardwood delivering a show. But the LeBron defenders will immediately scream, "But look at the total career minutes." Okay, let's play that game. Let's talk about the final chapter. When Jordan came out of retirement to play for the Washington Wizards, he was 40 years old. His knees were practically bone on bone, draining fluid after every game just so he could walk. A modern superstar would have played 40 games, sat out every back-to-back, and blamed it on mileage. What did 40-year-old MJ do in his very last season in 2003? He played all 82 games, averaging 37 minutes a night. At 40, LeBron hasn't touched an 82-game season since he was 33. Here is the bottom line. It's easy to stack up 20-plus years of longevity when you take 10 to 15 nights off every season to preserve your body and watch from the bench in a custom suit. Longevity by pacing yourself is one thing. Longevity through sheer, uninterrupted toughness is another. Jordan didn't manage his load. He was the load.
All right, so you hear that, right? And then what I want to add to that, Michael Jordan also went to college, right? So Michael Jordan, he played 15 years in the NBA. He played 3 years in college. That's 18 years right there. Then on top of that, factor in like I said, Michael played 82 games 9 times out of his career. That's a lot of basketball. And then on top of that, the league was much more physical than it was. Than it is right now. So the league was much more physical for Michael Jordan than what it is right now. And I think that as a basketball fan, like if for people who was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to see both Michael Jordan and LeBron James play, I just feel like you didn't get cheated when you saw Mike, right? Because as a fan, you want to see somebody give their all and maybe play a year or two shorter than somebody who's stretching their career out, right? Who is pacing themselves. You want to see that person give their all. You're going to get the best show as a fan, and Mike played, in my opinion, he just played like somebody who knew that he was on the clock. Like he didn't play. He played like he didn't he was his time was limited. LeBron James played, and that's the difference between like when you see the effort of LeBron James and you see Mike. LeBron James played like he had all the time in the world, and so that sense of urgency that Mike had was not evident in LeBron James. And so that's why, I just wish that people would stop comparing eras, because anytime you compare the two eras like that, the LeBron James era is always going to fall short when it comes to the Michael Jordan era because of the physicality and how dedicated all of those players were. Most of those players were back in Michael Jordan day. It wasn't just Michael Jordan. Like I said, when you watch Larry Bird play, I think Larry Bird played for like 13 years. And you got the best of Larry Bird for those 13 years that he played. And I can honestly say that I would prefer to watch Larry Bird for 13 years than to watch LeBron James for 23 going on 24 years. I mean, it's just better basketball. Like Larry Bird just gave everything he had. And then, the end of his career, because, he was starting to wear down. He wasn't the same player, but Larry Bird gave everything he had. And that was the case for most of those guys back then. You didn't have all the flopping. Flopping was really frowned upon, especially for guys who were like the franchise basketball player. You couldn't afford to, give up a easy layup on one end just because you didn't get the call at the other end. Like, that was unheard of. You never see great basketball players, and I don't care who the basketball player was that played back in those days. You didn't see Charles Barkley or Karl Malone do stuff like that. Like wouldn't get a call at one end, and then they'll stay down there. They'll stay down the court and just argue with the ref. It just don't happen. It just didn't happen. So that's, in my opinion, if they want to compare the eras, I think they do themselves a disservice when they try to compare the eras. And LeBron James trying to put himself in that GOAT conversation, in my opinion, from day one, it was an unwinnable battle. And I feel like now the only people now who are really out there supporting LeBron James as far as this GOAT conversation and throwing that longevity out there are people who didn't have the opportunity to see Michael Jordan. But other than that, man, it's an open and shut case. When you, like I said, look at this. Michael Jordan played 82 games 9 times out of 15. And that's just crazy. And he played 82 games his last year in the NBA when he was 40 years old. So here you got LeBron James hadn't played 82 games since he was 33. And now here LeBron James, how old is LeBron James? I think he's like 40 years old or 40. I don't know. He's in his early 40s, right? So 7 years ago, he played a full 7 or 8 years ago. LeBron James played a full 82, game, which, like I said, if Mike had wanted to play 24, 25 years and he would have stretched it out like that, I'm pretty sure he could have done it, but Mike was all about giving the fans everything that they, he didn't want to cheat the fans. He didn't want to cheat the game. And he just gave it everything he had. And so I wish everybody would stop with this longevity, thing that they're talking about LeBron James, and he'll be back next year with either the Lakers or the Cavaliers, and I'm sure I put money on it that LeBron James won't play all 82 games next year. So that's my take on it. Hopefully, this longevity thing that LeBron James is narrative that he's trying to spin will be it'll be over with. But other than that, man, that's all I got. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.